So do you really want to know where all of our tax money is going? All of the tax dollars of the American people, the UK, or the North American, not North American Union, but the European Union, and all the money that has been, the wealth that has been taken from the American people and people around the world, is funding all sorts of things. It's funding staged events, choreographed deception, all sorts of stage shows to keep you looking in the wrong direction. That's all it's about. It's about staged court cases, all sorts of deceptions to keep you looking the wrong direction. Media takes billions of dollars of the American people's money to keep us in. Our own tax money is going to keep us in a state of hypnosis, watching all of these events and scandals and all of this stuff. It's deception. That's all it is. It's deception. It's going to black projects. It's going to take over our food. It's going to other top secret programs to control the American people and people around the world, and to bring this whole world into a global corporation. One way to demoralize the people and to make them blind to what's going on is to create the illusion that the America is falling, which it is. The fake system that they created for us is falling because they created it and they want to shift us into another system. The one way to do that is to create all sorts of court cases, scandals, all sorts of stories to keep you confused. And unless you look up at the very ancient families that have run this planet for a very long time, you'll never see who's manipulating us. You'll never see it. And all of our wealth has been taken from the United States. And now the invisible government, puppeting our visible government to bring them down so then they can come in and save the day, is the whole plan. Maybe not right away, but what's going on is on TV is nothing that's really going on. Nothing at all. Nothing that you see on TV is what's happening. It's just a stage show. 300 million people in the United States and people around the world are getting the same misinformation. You're talking about almost the whole planet getting the misinformation because they can't see the real powers that have been running this planet for thousands of years. So they get demoralized, they get depressed, then they try to push more drugs on you to make you happy, and then they convince you that you're free in this country when you have invisible bars and invisible walls up all around you. You're not dependent. Or you're not independent. Because you're dependent on government. Everybody's getting SSI, unemployment, money just to keep them alive. Just to keep food on the table. In a house they think they own. But when they really look close, they'll find out that they don't own their house. Slaves can't own property. And the United States, in this system, technically you may think you own your house, and maybe you do in this system, but once you change over to a different charter with different owners, that's void, unless you can understand who's actually controlling this country, and who's been making us fight wars to so-called protect our freedoms when our freedoms are being taken away. They know they can't unarm 150, 200 million Americans. They know they can't unarm that many people. So what do they have to do? They have to starve us out, demoralize the people, ship jobs overseas, destroy this country within, so people can't protect themselves. You can't protect yourself with a gun when they're destroying crops and destroying food and controlling the water and raising prices on fuel so you can't drive anywhere. You're not free, because when they crash everything, where will you be? You'll be stranded. You can't get anywhere because you can't make your own fuel for your car. You can't grow your own food. You can't, if you're lucky, I mean, you can find water, but you don't have your own water sources. It's all city or government water sources. And you can't collect rainwater because they want to make that illegal. They want to make it illegal to grow food in gardens. And yet they want to claim later that there's going to be a food shortage, probably. And then I could go on and on. So keep that in mind. Know who your enemy is, because they're bringing the government down from within. The wealthiest families on this planet to go back thousands of years. Sure, they'll put the front billionaires up for you so you can't see past that. You can't see past corporations. Most people can't see past corporations. People don't have the consciousness to see past the billionaires. And in order to understand how this world's ran, you have to see past the illusion. But you also have to understand that the people of the United States and people around the world keep begging government to help them. They're begging government to give them unemployment so they can have food. They're begging for jobs. I mean, most of the people in the United States and around the world are willing slaves. They want to be a slave. They want to work for the system. They don't want to work for themselves. Because in this system, you're not really allowed to work for yourself. Even if you own your own company, you're not working for yourself. You're working for the system. Because your money and the tax money that you pay goes to the system to operate the system, keep the system running. And if you have any new ideas that could possibly harm the system they have, or to threaten the system that they have created, they won't let you do it. They don't want you to have your own way of thinking. They don't want you to come up with a way to power your car on free or cheap energy that you can create yourself, or a car that runs on water. They don't want that. They want you to be dependent on the system, so they can provide the power, electricity, food, transportation, fuels to you, so you have a leash on you. They don't want the people independent. They want them dependent on government. And in order to free yourself from that, you have to stop fighting wars that they create for us. You have to stop joining the military and going overseas to take over other countries. You have to stop policing the world. You have to stop believing all the propaganda on TV that makes you want to police over other people. You have to stop believing in all of the shootings they're covering, twisting shootings. Maybe people are trying to defend themselves, but the media turns it around and says, they're a horrible person. They shouldn't have a gun. Trying to ban weapons or create new gun laws to make it harder to protect yourself or to open carry, or the good people of this planet and the United States want to protect themselves. They don't want government to force protect them. The government wants to force their protection on you. That's the way it is. And in order to take your freedom and your life back, you have to stop looking at material things and money as wealth. Because wealth is independence, it's not money. Wealth is independence. That means you don't need money to power your car. You can power your car for free or for something that you've created yourself. You don't need money to go grocery shopping because everybody is able to grow food in a free system. Everybody's able to grow food and barter and trade food for other objects. But, people have to stop being dependent on government and stop begging for money for SSI. Of course, maybe a lot of people need that right now. But in a true free system, fake paper fiat money isn't... You don't need fake fiat paper money to buy things. Because in a truly free world, where everybody can grow their own food, you can create your own power for your own car. You can collect your own rainwater or collect water without having to pay for it. All these things were given to mankind. We shouldn't have to pay to survive through the fake money system. What's on this planet is here for the people. It's not here for profit. The whole world's been based on profit and getting the very few that know the truth at the top. The royal families, the royal elite that have been running this planet for thousands of years know the truth. They know the truth. There's plenty for everybody. But see, they want depopulation, not because there's too many people on this planet. They want depopulation because they can't control 7 billion people. Nor do they need 7 billion people anymore. They have their machines and their robots and their drone planes and their drone army and their walking electro robot dogs with guns, and they're turning this world into a computer programmed nightmare. And you have to stop that. And to stop it, you have to know who your enemy is. You have to know who your enemy is. You have to stop watching these news broadcasts and believe everything that you're seeing. Because it's just meant to keep you asleep and controlled while they move in these covert controls under your nose, allegedly for your protection and well-being. That could be furthest from the truth. Furthest from the truth. And people need to stop asking for government assistance, and they need to start seeing the path to true independence. And that's the removal of government controls over our foods, government controls over our waters, over knowledge, over keeping us from free energy, keeping us from, get our lands back that they're taking from us, running farmers out of business with their GMO foods, making it so farmers can't even make a profit because of the property taxes and property costs and fuel costs. They put all this in place to create the artificial shortage. The artificial shortage doesn't come from food or water. The artificial shortage is coming from the tight control of the money supply and the taxes and the outrageous prices of the fuel and food and water and the cost of living that they have been running up on us so we can't survive. They don't want humans to survive. They don't want humans to be free.